This short interview will share about the mother tongue education movement of the indigenous people of Sabah. We've invited Rita Lasimbang, the founder and CEO of Kadazandusun Language Foundation. She has also served as a project coordinator as well as a linguistic consultant. The Kadazandusun Language Foundation is set up for the preservation, promotion and development of the Kadazandusun language as well as other indigenous languages of Sabah and Labuan. Rita has authored and edited books such as Kadazan Folklore and Introduction to the Traditional Costumes of Sabah. In the short video, she will share about the introduction of Kadazandusun community, the challenges and development of Kadazandusun mother tongue education and the role of Kadazandusun Language Foundation. Let's watch the video.
The Kadazandusun community, basically, traditionally, mostly rice farmers in the olden days, and also all the activities or events they referred to, therefore, the rice cultivation cycle and the daily activities are usually we refer to the lunar cycle, moon size lunar, like Chinese also maybe. So if planting vegetables and all that, must see what size of the moon, so to give you a good harvest, or if it's not the right one, then maybe worms will attack your vegetables, like that. And then besides the rice farming, also the community hunters, gatherers, riverine fishing, like that. And but of course the present day Kadazandusun communities are of course the modern livelihood like everyone else. That's so therefore from a farming community to what they call a consumer society, like that. And if Kadazandusun society is the social organization, it's traditionally like we have for the administration, 4 institutions, like the first one will be the village chief, and then there's the council of elders, and then there is the bobohisan. These are the ritual specialists, and then the 4th one is the warriors, the protectors of the community. And you may have heard the word pangazo. They are not the headhunters, but they're actually warriors, the protector of the village. But in those days, how people victory over the enemy who comes and disturb the village is by cutting the head. That's why they again the name headhunters. But really that is actually the warriors that protect the villages now. Then what else? So for, I think, identity, every community has the identity. For the Kadazandusun, our main identity would be our language, our mother tongue. And also we have our own set of oral traditions, the folklores, and we have our own traditional costumes with the accessories, and traditional dance with the traditional music. And of course, we have our own belief system and rituals. And in terms of the spiritual realm or spiritual world, the Kadazandusun believes in 2 main deities. Kinoingan is the creator God, and wife, or Suminundu. So Kadazandusun community believes in this parallel world of the spiritual world and our earthly world. And anything, it has always have to be in harmony. It has to always be, if anything wrong, it has to be appeased. And just now I mentioned the bobohisan. This is their main role as a mediator to appease the spiritual world in harmony with the natural world. So we also have a lot of customs and taboos in context of our rites of passage for a birth, marriage, death. So basically, I think in a nutshell, that is introducing the Kadazandusun community. We divide, based on languages, we divide it into three main, what I call the Bornean languages of Sabah. One is the Dusunik, then you heard of Murutik, the Muruts, and the Paitanik, that's the Orang Sungai, the Tembenua. But the Dusunik, yeah, that's the biggest number of the indigenous people native to Sabah. And you heard of Kadazan and Dusun. These are under the same language family and the same people group, just that it's where we are, all those that I mentioned in terms of cultures and custom, is similar, but in each area there's differ a bit now. In terms of language, yeah, we belong to the same language family. We use the Roman writing system. Ours is because the history for the Kadazandusun, but for Kadazan is the missionaries, the school builders. They came around 1800s. They came landed in Sabah, in Penampang, Kuala Penyu, Penampang, and so they listen to our language and they write it in the Roman script. So it's pretty good. The writing system is pretty good. Just as we move on with our language development, like we want to do our dictionary, then we had to work on some to standardize so that we can really focus on then doing our published material. Just now we talk about like two separate language groups, Kadazan and Dusun. In the school, the formal name of that language is Kadazandusun. One word, the D is small d, so one word. And that is for the formal teaching, the community had to decide and to agree to use this one language for the formal teaching in school called Kadazandusun. So that was started in 1997 as a trial in the school. And that is in the school, in the provision of POL. It started as a POL, the Education Act 1996. Then after that, it became bahasa elective subject. Yeah, so now it's being taught in all schools in Sabah, like Iban in Sarawak and Semai, I think, in West Malaysia. Well, before it actually got to start in the school, the KLF started to give linguistic training to of the Kadazandusun language to teachers and potential teachers, because there is no degree that in the university that you can go and study, like Chinese, you can do English, geography, math, none for Kadazandusun. So KLF started to give the training to all these teachers. Yeah. Because the request for the language to be taught in school is from the community. So once we got the green light from the ministry for the language to be taught as a POL, then the next step is there was that agreement that which language, Kadazan, Dusun, and then this agree that is one Kadazandusun. So then before then the teacher had to teach. Then KLF, since we are the one who from representing the community request from the government, yeah. So we work with the in Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Sabah to conduct these courses. Now, recognize lah, because there's nobody else to do that. There's nobody else to teach the linguistic aspect of the Kadazandusun language, but the expertise is from the Kadazandusun Language Foundation, and therefore the Sabah Education Department requested for us to give the training. So I'm a trained linguist, so I started the training lah. What we have done is for the training, it's conducted by the State Education Department. So they conduct the course, and KLF come in to be the teacher lah, teaching the teachers. So we are the referee lah, we are the pakar rujuk for the state education department. Then later di bahagian teknologi, bahagian pembangunan curriculum development division of the Ministry of Education also then continue to conduct these courses. They undertake the courses and continue. The expertise of KLF is continued to be sourced to train their teachers, the teachers. So there is a working together with the government departments, the ministry, with the Kadazandusun Language Foundation. As we know, why KLF was formed is because of the community's concern over the decline in the use of their mother tongue. And then with losing of mother tongue, also we lose our traditional indigenous knowledge. So their desire to address this concern is for the language to be taught in school. And that's why I say to request for the language to be taught in school was from the community. So, meanwhile, at that time, that was in 1994, we started to have a simple class to teach the language. Before going to the school, we have like our own, we call it a Kadazan Language Center. We get all the kids who are from parents from mixed marriage. We started in a Kadazan Language Center. Then, meanwhile, we were requesting for the language to be taught in school. So by 1996, there's a change in the ACTA. So then there's a green light, and so teaching of Kadazan was approved in the school, and then continue with what I was saying just now. So for KLF, at that time, since that is already approved, the teaching was undertaken then by the Ministry of Education. So for us here, we were saying that now that is already moved on for this one, the purpose of setting up the KLC, we must have a foundation or a body to coordinate activities. Okay, cannot just stop there. So we applied for a trustee declaration of trust. There is what we call there is a trustee incorporation ordinance of 1951, chapter 148 Sabah, Malaysia. So it was approved in June 1995, and so KLF started operating in January of 1996. And we are governed by a board of trustees. So the vision, as I've said, is to engage the Kadazandusun community to embrace their ethno-linguistic and cultural heritage. And so they must take also their responsibility to actively participate in the preservation, promotion, and development of our mother tongue. Because mother tongue is the embodiment of our linguistic and ethnic cultural identity. So the office, we are governed by the Board of Trustees, but we have an office. So I'm the Chief Executive Officer. There's an executive assistant and one research officer and one part-time staff. And we have a few technical assistants in linguistics and a lot of network partners. Yeah, very important to have network partners. So our objective of the foundation, we divide into 4 program areas. One, linguistics and anthropology. The second one is literacy and literature. We also have translation to translate material into the mother tongue. And we also have community service, training and development. Besides the first one, our work, the first one, of course, is supporting mother tongue education, because that is the reason why we set it up, because of the concern to address the losing of mother tongue, and we must have it taught in school. So that is therefore our first main activity to support mother tongue education. And we continue with giving linguistic training to teachers. We provide assistance in anything to do with mother tongue events. So we facilitate that in our little office. And then for more books, we also conduct novel writing competition in Kadazandusun. Then there's also to practice the storytelling among the children, reading in Kadazan, storytelling competitions in Kadazan. We organize the elders to tell the story first. We record it and we give it to the teachers and the students for them to learn how to tell the story, tell Kadazandusun story the right way. Besides that, our other main activity is creation of awareness on the importance of mother tongue. So that one we organize awareness talks. We also have mother tongue use at home campaigns. We also have a workshop to produce materials in the mother tongue. And our main work is publication, heritage in print. Yeah, KLF becomes an avenue for publication of vernacular materials. Yeah, and then we also conduct writers' workshop for the community, youths, preschool teachers, primary school teachers, a specific target group for writers as writers' workshop. And then a few more, a few more activities. Besides all that, starting simple ones, we have activities that empower the community to write down the cultural heritage. Last time, like the writers' workshop, they just write and then somebody illustrate, and the rest of it is done by us at the foundation. But this time, we want to bring the community to another higher level. We make them write their story. We train them how to go from editing, proofreading, formatting, until it gets printed. So that's we empower them. And topics for doing this kind of empowerment workshop, we ask the community, if like you said, different area in Penampang here, different, they have a specific identity marker. Okay, we want to write about that one. In another area, they say maybe our identity marker is our food. So they write. Another area, they say, oh, ours is traditional herbal medicine. Then another area will say, oh, ours is our handicraft, like weaving of basketries and all that. So then they write about that. But we will be there to guide them, but they're the one, hands-on for them. I think very important for us also, our work, besides all this I mentioned, is the preservation and documentation of the oral arts. Like I said in the beginning, very rich in oral arts. So we ourselves do the documentation. And after that, we train young people from their own village. We train them, and then they go back to their own community there, and they record. So it can continue. And finally, when everything is done, nice and fine, you have documented, you have published, you have everything, we must promote the published material. So that all become our work. So for very, very small, but very few people in the organization, but seems like I'm talking about the whole, well, if not the whole world, but the whole of Sabah at least. But not just Sabah, we have extended our expertise and sharing of all this knowledge to Sarawak indigenous people, also in Peninsula, the orang asli people also. Yeah. So that is besides the mother tongue. This is what other work that we have done. We started with a small enterprise, a 25 ringgit license under Kadazan Language Center. Now, the main purpose is to also, with conducting a class in that Kadazan Language Center, we are able to do a syllabus for teaching of the language. So it's kind of a launching pad. So eventually, once there is a green light to teach Kadazandusun in school, now that syllabus that was created in that Kadazan Language Center was used, expanded, and then now in the used by the ministry. But those Kadazan Language Center, that is really community, all our own effort, our own concern. 25 ringgit license we call it, and then to conduct a class here in just around Penampang, a small center. In fact, Tan Sri Bernard's office long time ago, so they moved and then it's empty. So he was the one who actually pushed for all this. And then so he said, oh, go and use. So we renovated that office. We took out the partition and we started with 15 children. Now, at this present time, it's a primary 1 to primary 6, secondary school also. And we have started a degree course in Kadazandusun Studies at the Institute Perguruan Teacher Training Institute for bachelor in Kadazandusun Studies. Yeah, because all the teachers teaching in the secondary school, they are not trained Kadazandusun teachers. They are not. They are either English teachers, they are either major in Malay, BM, Bahasa Malaysia, geography, mathematics, but because they are Kadazandusun, they are the one teaching. And how do they get the training? Yeah, that's the one that I mentioned just now, where KLF provided the linguistic aspect of the Kadazandusun language. So that bit, but it would be good if, as you said, if it's in the university, then they really go through the pedagogy and everything, isn't it? Yeah. That's our dream. Of course, your main challenge usually besides people is money. It's like, I always use this analogy like driving a vehicle. Vehicle can be your organization and then your driver can be like us who are trained to do this. But how to buy the petrol. So fortunately for us, since our foundation is a registered trustee, and like I said, there is and it was a very important role that we applied. KLF started with an initial grant from the state government, because at that time the chief minister is very concerned about language. That is YB Yong Tek Lee. Chinese, very important, education, very important. Doesn't matter what political parties you are, but education is very important. So I think that's why during his tenure, we applied and he approved that one. So it's the initial grant of 500,000 which is very good. And then and a yearly grant of 100,000. But the work to run this foundation, even though very small, is 3 times that amount. So where do we get our 2/3 to run this foundation? So that's why we have our network partners. They're the ones who come on board to help us with our funding. But the government does give us that yearly funding. Hopefully, they will continue and they understand the role that we're playing. It's very important, maintenance this of kind of mother tongue of the people of Sabah, or the identity of the people, identity of the state. That's why at that time when we set up, the concern is loss of mother tongue. And what more if say, for instance, the younger generation has this attitude of, what for learn the mother tongue? It won't get you anywhere. You have English or you have Malay or you even know how to Chinese lagi, better economy. Yeah, that would be, at one point, I think the Kadazan community went into that. And not just the children, I think it's even parents. It's that parents have that kind of attitude. And that's why another group of parents became concerned. And that's why how this whole movement for language revitalization or promotion development came into being. And that's why one of our activities is to conduct the importance of mother tongue, because it is your identity. Okay lah, you Kadazan, but you use a costume, but what's your language? Can you speak? So we have this awareness talk. So it continues. And I would say that having the Kadazandusun language taught in school, yeah, I think that is one way to up this importance of the mother tongue. People may be saying, what can you do with Kadazan? But then you also can list like, if you know Kadazan, okay, what can you do now? Kadazan, what can you do now? Oh, well, first you can be teachers. So that's a job, right? You can be news readers, because now we are also news readers. TV, there's Kadazan in TV as well. Last time only the radio. Oh, you can, there are many things. Like now also, like I mentioned, translation. Yeah, so if translation, you can do translation, you can be paid for it. So there are many more new activities, economic activities, besides pushing people to learn or continue or promote and revitalize their mother tongue, besides that it being their identity. When we first started, only 3 of us, myself because when I finished my master's, I worked first in the Sabah Museum because I was on state scholarship. So 6 years, I worked 6 years. So after I completed my 6 years, there was set up a foundation. So I tendered in my resignation because I'm not obliged anymore to continue. I've already paid my term now, and then start the Kadazan Language Foundation. So at that time, only 3 of us, 3, myself and 2 other girls. Now these 2 other girls, we send them for training in basic linguistics in our friends' institute in Singapore. So they were starting to run the foundation, and because we are all trained in linguistics. And then over the years, people come, join us, and leave, or it could be just a temporary, what I call it, KLF as a swimming pool. A lot of people have now moved on in the university, but like KLF is a swimming pool where they learn how to swim. It means swimming in terms of like for the language preservation. And then a time comes for them to continue their further studies. Oh, at least they already learn how to do that work, already learn how to swim. So when they start swimming in the sea, in the ocean, they would have learned something here. So over the years. So presently, again, we are back to only 3 people. I'm still here. And 1 is my executive assistant. Now this girl, she was a young girl at that time. She was the our secretary when we started the Kadazan Language Center. Then when that is done, our work is done, she went to got married, got children, and then one day she said, "Hey, I'm anything." So she's back. So it's very good to like people coming back. And then our research officer, and 3 of us are the main people running this foundation. But like I said just now, we have a few technical assistants in linguistics that's attached to the foundation, or you can say we sponsor their visa. The network partners is strong. Though sometimes I forget, oh, there's only 3 of us, so much to do. But then if I take a moment, I say, hey, no, wait a minute. There's not just 3 of us. There are a lot of network partners. So in doing anything, I would say the success of doing anything, the strength is our network partners. Our penyokong our supporters We help each other And when you have friends, if you are in need, that you can go and call them, and they will help you back like that. So that is our strength. But really, if you want to talk about people, only 3 full-time. Last time when I went to Japan to present the work of the foundation, they had the impression that there are like 200 people running the foundation. 200, not 20, 200. I said, no, you come to our office. Our office is even on top of the coffee shop only. Of course, there's a dream that one day, like Dong Jong La, wow, when I went before small, when we went last time, oh, those big, you have even have hostel. But that's just our, not just bad dreams, but the vision. We must have vision. That when it comes, I don't know when, but we must always keep that vision. So that's my experience. But anyway, we have a principle here. We say, do what you can, the best that you can. But if no need to worry about things you cannot. So we focus on what we can. So we look at resources and we focus on the resources available rather than, sometimes when people start organization or they have so big a dream but they don't look in and how much resources they have. So that in the end, we cannot sustain. But we all look at it like that. So we look at the resources. So hence we can sustain since, what did I say, 1996. 25 years is, it's almost a lifetime in a way. That's true. In three lines, I would say, because it is what I love to do. It is what I want to do. And it is what I'm trained for. Yeah, so that's 3 lines why I'm still here. When there's an organization set up, you must have someone with the training. It's like setting up a clinic. You must be a trained doctor. Yeah, like that. Yeah, and if you want to be a specific clinic like ONG, you must have a specific training in ONG. So in that way, I think that's one of the strengths of this foundation, because all to do with language development, language promotion, and that's what I'm trained for. I hope that our Zoom is beneficiary, is good for you all over there to understand a little bit about how we are here, foundation, how it is, the inner runnings of it. Anybody doing this kind of things, they must have that love to do, and they want to do it, and they're trained for it. Yeah. So thank you again for invitation to chit chat on this Zoom.
Bahasa Jiwa Bangsa is the spirit of the preservation of human multiculturalism. Malaysia is a multi-ethnic, multilingual, multicultural and multi-religious country made up of people from diverse ethnic groups. Therefore, diversity is an asset of our country rather than a burden. Thank you for watching.